welcome to China and welcome to my channel. And if you've made it here, then you've made it to the second day of We Wish You a Merry Vlogmas and a Happy Vlog Year. Alright y'all, so this story is a little bit different than yesterday's story, let me tell you. Because this gets a little bit more intense and you may feel some type of way, whatever, but I'm going to tell the story, okay? Alright, before I get into it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. You already know the drill. Alright, now let's get into it. Alright y'all, so by reading the title, I'm sure you're probably like, China, this is clickbait again. What is you saying? But no, honey, it's the truth. Blood is on my curtains, okay? But anyway, let's get into it. So this is a story about how my now ex-best friend came to come visit me in New Hampshire and ruined me and my boyfriend's house. Alright, so keep in mind, like, I've been living here at this point for maybe like 6 or 7 months, and at this point, like, me and my boyfriend, we were doing good, but we were kind of having like a little bit of a rough patch. So I was like, yo, let me like bring my friends here to like come visit me, and they just came through. So I brought her, I will call her Brianna, so 3, 2, 1. So I brought her, I will call her Becky, and I brought my friend Jocelyn. So it was 2 of them coming and 1 left early and 1 stayed. So we'll keep it at that. So anyway, they came to visit me, and this was probably around March of 2020. So they came to visit me and everything was cool, fine and jolly. Like when I had my friends come visit me, I was super excited. Like I prepared everything, and this is why we ended up getting into it about my preparation. So all of my friends, including myself right now, as a disclaimer, we were going through like a really rough patch. I just started therapy back again. Like Becky was definitely going through it, the friend that I got into it with, and like Jocelyn was like going through her own thing. So we was just doing our own like self-help and like trying to get together and have a good time. So keep in mind, it's about 13 hours to drive from Michigan all the way to New Hampshire. So Jocelyn, shout out to her, I love her to death. She drove them out, and they got here about like a day and a half like later. So when they got here, like I made sure that like I prepared everything at the house. Like my boyfriend was like gone to like his friend's birthday party, so we were gonna have the house to ourselves. So I made sure that I like was gonna make this dip. So keep in mind, me and Becky, we got together and we're like, yo, like I'm gonna go ahead and make this queso dip. And it's like that smoked queso dip. If anybody's ever seen it on TikTok, I might post a picture here. It's like a dip that you like put different types of like rotel and Velveeta and meat and like onions and peppers, and like you mix it up or whatever. And keep in mind, like Becky's white, so she don't really like a lot of spice. So I was like, yo, I made it like into like a spicy dip. Now Jocelyn, she doesn't mind spice, but Becky was a little bit more picky. So keep in mind, we did have drinks at this point. Like we had some champagne, we was like dancing, we had a good time. So it was time to eat. So I'm like, okay, like I made y'all like this rotel dip. Keep in mind, Becky went with me to go get the stuff. We split it 50-50, the price, whatever, it was cool. So her and I ended up getting into it about like the dip being too spicy. So I ended up having some extra cream cheese in the refrigerator, and she was like, yeah, like I just really can't eat it. Like I'm probably just not gonna eat dinner because it's too spicy. So it like kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like give or take. Like I did have a cocktail, so like, you know, you guys can really take it how you may, it happens. And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, yo, like I made you this food, like you're not gonna eat it. I will say, like I love to cook and my food is good, I'm not gonna lie. So like I wanted to make sure that my guest and my best friend at the time was happy. So she goes on to tell me like, yeah, it's just like too spicy. So I'm like, okay, like no problem. So like I take her bowl and I'm like, I'm gonna put some cream cheese in here to kind of like, you know, combat the spice. So she's like, okay. So then I come and bring it to her and she's like, no, like it's just like too spicy. Like I'm just not gonna eat it. She just started complaining, and I'm just like, Becky, like chill out. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna sit here and keep complaining. Like I'll get you whatever you want. Like bro, like definitely eat, like stop complaining. And then she's like, you're always just trying to control everything that I do, and you're so controlling, and you're just being a bitch for no reason, da 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 da. And I'm just like, yo, you done lost your dang on mind. So keep in mind, Jocelyn is here. Jocelyn's chill. She's like letting like the situation kind of happen, but she's still like, she's my friend, so she's gonna make sure I'm good. So she's like, yo, like you guys like chill out, like let's go get some air. So I'm like, okay, bro, like this is like kind of going a little bit too far. Like this is like way too much. And she goes downstairs, like keep in mind I have a porch, and she like goes down my porch and she starts screaming and yelling and all this shit. And keep in mind I have neighbors at the time, and like me and my boyfriend have already gotten arguments, so we don't need the neighbors like, you know, telling on us and calling the police and all this. We live in New Hampshire. So she starts like yelling and like running down to Jocelyn's car, and I'm just like, yo, like she literally goes down to her car and she locks herself in Jocelyn's car. So I'm like, what is happening? So Jocelyn's in the car and Becky runs down and she locks herself in the car. So at this point, Becky is crying and locking herself in the car. She's screaming. Like, keep in mind, like, we all deal with our own mental thing. Like, she was like freaking out. So at this point, I'm like, yo, like, unlock the door. Like, let me talk to you. Like, unlock the door. So then, like, she's like, no, don't unlock the door. Don't unlock the door. I'm Jocelyn, you better unlock this door. So Jocelyn is my friend, so she unlocked the door. So I'm like, yo, like, you cannot, like, be freaking out like this. Like, bro, like, what is your problem? So her and I continue to get into it even more. I'm like, dude, like, I brought you here. I made sure that you were good. I made sure that everybody was going to be comfortable. I paid for things. I got us all alcohol. Like, I made sure that everybody was straight. Because keep in mind, at this time, I was the only one that was truly working aside from Jocelyn. So, like, she did not have a job. She did have a job. I tell you that she did have a job, but she wasn't, like, I think it was, like, unemployment or some bullshit or whatever. So at this point, like, I'm like, yo, like, chill out. I wasted my time and money as well. Like, you didn't even drive. Like, Jocelyn's the one that drove. Like, so definitely chill out. So she didn't like what I said to her, so we continued to get into it and argue. Bada bing. So fast forward, she runs up into me and my boyfriend's house and locks the door. So she runs up to the house and locks the door. So at this point, I'm like, Jocelyn, can you just, like, go and, like, get her? Like, she's not unlocking the door for me. So I'm, like, knocking on my door at this point. I'm like, yo, like, open the door, open the door, open the door. She's like, I'm not gonna open the door. Like, I'm not gonna open the door. And she's, like, sobbing and crying or whatever. So I'm just like, yo, like, what is your problem? I'm like, bro, open the door. So she wouldn't open it for me. So then I go get Jocelyn. Jocelyn comes up and, like, she still wouldn't open the door. So at this point, I start screaming. I'm like, bro, you better open this door right now or we're going to have a really big problem. At this point, I was ready to beat her down. I'm open the door. What is wrong with you? Who are you to lock me out of my house? I don't care what's going on. So I open the door and she runs into the bathroom and locks herself into my bathroom. So finally she lets me in. So I go and walk into the bathroom and then I see, like, blood all over, like, the first door to get into the bathroom. It's like 2 doors to get in the bathroom. And I see a trail of blood also in my kitchen. And I'm like, did this girl try to, like, hurt herself? What happened? It's literally, like, blood everywhere. So I open the door and she's, like, sitting on my toilet crying and it's blood everywhere and the sink everywhere. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, bro, what happened? Are you okay? Like, I literally thought she, like, tried to, like, hurt herself. And I'm, like, freaking out. I'm like, yo, whatever happened, forget it. Forget it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, I'm like, cut the bullshit. Whatever happened, dude, like, it's okay. What happened? So I go and assess the situation. Long story short, I see that she has cuts all over her hand. Her hand is all cut up and it's bleeding all over my sink. And she's, like, hysterically crying. She's trying to call her friend and her mom, whatever. So I'm like, yo, like, listen, like, let me go see what's going on. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll pay for it. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I go and run the shower. I'm like, Becky, go get in the shower and I'll be right back. Because I'm like, what is happening? So I go look and it's literally glass all over the front of my porch. Actually, let me show you. So it's literally glass all over my porch. Ow! Oh my God, I tripped and fell. It's glass all over my porch. It's glass literally all over, and it's blood as well. So give me a second. So this is outside of my house. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Like, this is, like, my porch. Here we go. Like, this is my front door. So this is my front door right here on stairs. Like, we're on the upper floor or whatever. It's blood all over. And then I look and I see, I'm gonna go around now into my kitchen. And it is literally, my kitchen is a mess, y'all. I'm sorry, Thanksgiving's just over. Busted open. This was all glass. So we have a glass door. And she decided to literally punch through the door. Keep in mind, it's still not fixed yet. This was all glass. So she decided to punch through my side door. And that's how she got into my house. She didn't have a key. She decided to punch her way through. So now let me show you how my front door looks. This is my front door. It looks just like this. So she punched this, that, all of that. She punched all of that through with her bare hands. And then proceeds to bleed all over my house. And keep in mind, thank goodness I have wood floors, but I had to go downstairs and wipe the blood literally off of the ground. And the neighbors didn't call the police. I do not know how, because when I told her, I dragged her out of my house. She got dragged. I said, you need to get a plane, a train, an Uber, I don't care what it is, you need to get the hell out of my house. I said, I will help you get what you need, I will pay whatever, but you need to get out.
Alright y'all, so I found a video on my phone of like the blood literally spilling down my curtain. This is like a video I sent to my boyfriend a while back and like my friends and stuff, but yeah, you can literally see like that's my window curtain and just there's some blood all over it because she was grabbing on it and this is crazy. Anyway, back to the video.
Alright y'all, so I had to sit back down and finish the rest of the story. So I already showed you the damage and what happened. So that's the case and that was the deal. So after this happened, you guys, I ended up going to tell my boyfriend. So that was the hard part. So keep in mind, she was gone. She found a flight. She went straight to the Manchester airport. She was out of here. So she's gone. At this point, I had to deal with my boyfriend because this is his house. This is before like I just started to move in. So your girl was not on good graces. So that was really bad. So after that, I have to tell him at his best friend's birthday party that my best friend who came to visit punched the window through because I didn't want him to come home and be mad at me. But keep in mind, he was staying at his friend's house because he was being responsible because they were drinking. So he couldn't even come back if he wanted to. So he was like freaking out. He had to tell his friend. That was just a mess. So I felt so incredibly bad. We had to deal with that part of our relationship. So it was just a mess. So I texted her and I told her, listen, you have to at least send me $250 for this door. So she said she would pay for it. So I followed up with her and I will say she did pay me for it. But keep in mind, she did like send it. It was cool. I was like, okay. But like, I'm the type of person, like that happens, but you know we'll never be friends again. Like this is over. Like she knew it was over. She knows how I am. She know how I get down. Keep in mind, her and I have been friends for like years since we did theater together in high school. So like that was over with. Like nah, we were done. So long story short, she sends me the money and then she proceeds to like text me a couple days later, like saying how very sorry she is and if she can do anything else, And I did appreciate that and like her like being empathetic to the situation, but I was just like, yo, like listen, I love you, but like at this point, like I couldn't do that. I feel like that was disrespectful to my boyfriend. She disrespected his home. I couldn't still be her friend even if I wanted to. It did burn for a minute, but I just had to let it go. So I told her like, listen, and my response is, it is what it is. Like, I love you. Like, you know, we'll talk soon, you know, kind of gave it to okie doke. It is what it is. So I did text her, her birthday's in May. I texted her in like March, like happy birthday or whatever. At this point, like we already started to work on the door. So it was what it was. And she didn't say anything back. So I was just like, I asked my friend Sanjana, I said, listen, should I text her happy birthday? And she's like, yeah, you should be a good person. And she didn't say nothing back. So, but whatever. So that was pretty much the story, y'all. Her and I have not talked since March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So it's been about 9 months. So, you know, 3 months you forget about somebody. I don't really think about her often. Like, she didn't really serve me that much in our friendship. You know, it was a lot of love, but hey, it's no harm, no foul. It happens. But I definitely wanted to tell y'all this crazy story about what happened, and it was just one of the wildest things that have honestly happened. I'm sure to this news would be a lot of news to new news to a lot of people or whatever. But that's the story, y'all. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another Vlogmas. Let me know your favorite part of this story. And have you had anything crazy happen? Let your girl know.